Hi everyone, odd journal page, few updates. I'm safe, everything, we are all okay, and I've been reinstated at work, so well, I am going back to work, so less time for crafting, but I'm going to keep on going. I'm starting this odd journal page with this music sheet. It doesn't have to be a music sheet. I just figured this will cover nicely my page. It can be a dictionary page, it can be any kind of ledger or any kind of other page that you think will work for you. So I'm just going to trim a little bit of this. I don't need all this space that I have right now, so I'm just going to place it here on the cutting mat, and I'm going to trim part of it. I'm just aligning my page with the lines on the mat so it would be easier to cut, and then I will just adhere it to my page. This is my first layer of background. Let's see. I will also have to trim it at the bottom and at the top. So let's see, maybe I'll just glue it and then trim it, and just that's enough. I'll just put it like this and I'll trim it later. So just taking white glue, and where did I put my, where is everything? Well, I had a little time, if you can say that, and I started organizing all my crafting space and all my stashes, and now I can't find anything, because that's what happens when you start to organize your stashes and your craft room. Now for about, I don't know, at least 2 weeks I won't find anything. What can I say? So just scraping the white glue, and now I'm adhering this page. Okay, good enough for me. I don't care that I have tears here and that it doesn't completely cover the page here in the corner. Don't care. Okay, I'm just thinking if I want to cover with glue on top, because that's what I'm used to do with anything that I collage. It's a good base, but not sure that I need to. I'm going to leave it be, but what I do want to do is go over with a little bit of diluted gesso and make some variation in the color for the background. Let's trim just the excess because it's bothering me. I need to see my page so I can place everything inside it. So I went through my stashes and organized and threw away all kinds of stuff that I really didn't need and that I didn't even have anywhere to donate to. So 2 big trash bags went out, and I finally got to go over all the things that I took out of magazines and books and calendars and fussy cut everything. I sat the whole day in front of the TV and just fussy cut whatever I had. So all this, and there are also smaller stuff here. I just sat one whole day and cut everything. So now I have lots of stuff to play with on hand, and this will probably go on this page, and this will probably go on this page. just because they sat next to each other here and they just felt right. So I'm building the page basically for these two images that I want to use. Okay, so I've got here some diluted gesso, and let's see, just in several areas I want to just go and lighten some areas. Maybe I will go over everything, I'm not sure yet. Just playing. And I also want to add some color. Again, I want it very light, like I've gone here with the gesso. I'm thinking something very light. Maybe, let's see, I was going to get my watercolors, and now I'm thinking I'm just going to take distress ink, put some here, and let's take another brush with water and just add some color in several places. And if I feel it's not light enough, I can always add more water. And I'm making a mess sometimes, yeah, just so I can spread it without having any harsh lines. I want it more blended into the background. Something like that. Let's put a little bit more here, just finishing the paint I have got. That's it. And making my page have more variation in the color. That's it. I can also take this and just make some watermarks. I can do so many stuff with things like that. And it doesn't matter if it's the distress ink or if you're using watercolors or thin down acrylics. You can do the same thing either way. So use this. Now I want another color. I'm going to use before I used forest moss, and I think now I'm going to add this Victorian velvet. So once again, just picking up some, and I don't mind that it's a blending with the green. It just needs to be a hint on the page, a blush. Okay. Best explanation I can give. I need a little bit more. Okay, and let's see, I need something circle because I like it. What can I say? And some kind of a watermark. Don't know what a part of it will show and what not. It really doesn't matter. Play with whatever you have, and don't be concerned if it will get covered later. It really doesn't matter. and you can always add later on if you feel it's needed. So that was this. I'm thinking I'm going to let this dry before I continue because I want to add more details to my background. I'm thinking some either stenciling, stamping, or even part of a paper napkin, because I remembered I had a paper napkin that with flowers that look a little bit like this. So if I will find it, so maybe it will go on this page. I'm going to let this dry and then we'll continue. Okay, so this is dry and I found the paper napkin that I want to use. I'm going to take a part of it. I'm taking a fine brush with water and I'm going to take out the part that I'm interested in, and I'm using this because it will give me torn edges, and then when you glue it to your page it disappears into the background quite nicely, instead of taking scissors and then you have a line that is more noticeable. So got this. Now I'm going to use, this is my glue for paper napkins, which is 2/3 white glue, 1/3 water, and sometimes I need to mix it, just making sure it's all in the same consistency and that the water didn't rise up. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know what affects it, if it's the weather or I don't know, really don't have a clue. So a brush for paper napkins, it's better to have a soft flat brush, and be generous with your glue. You don't want to miss a spot, otherwise you will have like an air bubble. Not that it's the end of the world, but it's just a nuisance afterwards. So I'm quite generous with the glue. I'm putting this a little bit outside the edges and I will trim the excess later. Now I'm going to go over and I'm going from the inside towards the outside. Again, generous with the glue because you want it to slide and not drag and tear your paper napkin. I don't care about wrinkles. I think they are great. They are giving me texture, more texture to the page, more interest. It looks more organic. There are ways to work with paper napkins without wrinkles. I don't do it because it's not interesting to me. Used to do it when I used to take, once upon a time I worked near a factory for CDs, and they had the CDs, the clear ones, before they are getting the reflective cover. So I used to take those CDs and I used to glue paper napkins on them, then do a mobile out of them, and I didn't want the wrinkles on top of them. And my secret weapon for it was I used there is a spray adhesive that I bought in a hardware store, not the ones from the craft stores, because it's very expensive. I bought a very big one from the hardware store. That's what I used to work with. You spray the CD, you wait like 5 seconds, something like that, and then you put your paper napkin and smooth it easily and you don't have wrinkles. Just if you want to do it, go for it. Just told you my secret. I'm thinking maybe doing this corner, although it would be mostly covered. No, I'll just leave it be. I'm going to put my two pieces. This image is from the Graphic Fairy. This image, I think it's either freepic.com or something like that, that you can just there are all kinds of free photos. This was one of the photos, and originally I printed it because I wanted to draw it, but once I've printed it, it's a shame to go to waste, so I that's what I've done. I've fussy cut it, and now I have something another element to work with. So once again, some glue, and I'll just use the white glue because everything is wet here, so it really doesn't matter. Okay, almost done. Okay, so she's in place. Now I need to glue this, and I'm thinking that I don't like this area for here, so I'm going to trim part of it. Let's see. I also need to trim to the left. If I want it like this, then this gets in the way. Let's see. Okay, I'm eyeballing it. Okay, more glue. Oops, I'm messy today. So this is in place. Oh, let it stick out, this one, don't care. Okay, I'm going over it. Okay, I'm going to let all of this dry before I continue, because I'm not finished. Okay, this was bothering me, now it's okay. So I'm going to let this dry completely, and then I'll be back. Okay, so everything is dry, and I still want to add something more to this page, I don't know, and I've taken out again the forest moss that I've used in the background, and I've taken this stencil, which now I need to see how I'm going to put it here, and a makeup sponge. Oopsie, let's see. Okay, so I took a I was considering just stenciling with acrylic paint, and I've decided to use this, and I will show you in a minute why. What I'm thinking is to take again a fine brush with a very small amount of water. Let's see. And just go where the edges are and activate it a little bit, just so it will almost like, so I won't have fine edges and it will blend more into the background. That's the best explanation I can give. And I still feel like I need something here, so I'm going to add a little bit more, and then I'll smudge part of it. Yeah, and here just add whatever you feel like. The fact that the stencil is made in one way doesn't mean that you can't use it in a different way. So just blending part of it into the background. Not completely necessary, but I felt like it was needed. So I'm doing the same thing here. I'm just not sure which part to use and what way. I'm just playing with it until I feel it's right. Yeah, I will go with this. Moved a little bit. Okay, that's nice. Now just a little bit more here. And once again taking my brush and just going over the elements that are more here towards here and activating it a little bit so it won't be so harsh. Again, you can leave it as is. Don't know why I decided to go that way. Now I'm happy. I'm happy, and you know it. And I want to put some words, and let's see. I've got here this sticker. It's a little bit small, but that's okay. See possibility everywhere. And I'm putting another one. Do what you love. I'm kind of liking that they are not in your face and sticking out of the page. They are part of the background mostly, but I know they are there, and that's all that matters. So let's see. I think this is it. Maybe I should have done some more. I'm not sure. Maybe a little bit more green towards the edges, or maybe just using what I have on the sponge and going around my page quite quickly and very gently so it would be soft. Yeah. So here it's a little bit more difficult, but let's see, maybe if I'll put a page here, because I'm now lazy and I don't want to put a masking tape. So let's do it another way, just taking a brush. You can also do it with a Q-tip, just going around. Again, it needs to be soft, so I don't even have to do much to add a little bit to darken the edges. That's it. That's my page. Living it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for leaving me comments down below. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.